Hey, top of the morning to you. I'm Michael. Grandkids call me Roo. Thanks for being on Roodoodles Live, 8:57 on the East Coast. Like I said earlier, I know it's not the coast, but you're in Charlotte, and you've moved from Florida to the mountains, and then you live in the middle. You just long for one or the other. So heading up to the mountains next weekend just for a quick little day up and day back to have lunch with my granddaughter at Appalachian State. Well, probably my car will automatically just drive into Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. It's right there, right in Boone, North Carolina. So I'll probably go there and maybe have to do a little spiel from there. Hey, I'm walking down my favorite aisle, which is, I used to think it was just a paint, but I think it's just walking in the door. Anyway, glad you're on the show today. Thanks for being here. I'm going to do a little bit of a review on some things that there's a lot of new people on the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You don't have to sign in. You can just sit there and take it in and sip your tea. I'm drinking Thai Fu. A little pitch while I'm holding this. I think I have maybe less than a dozen of these left. I think that's it. There could be 10 of them out there. The website may say no, but I will look and see. I do have them here. They're nowhere else, so I ship these from here. Now, the other mugs you can get, the printed mugs with the bees and the lobsters and all that stuff are on. They're on my website, Printiful. But this is the original Roo mug. I call this one the right or left hand because there's a little Roo face drawn by yours truly on either side. I think I have maybe, I don't know if there's a dozen or not. There may be 8 or 10. So, but they're. I think they're $20 a piece, and I think I don't know what they are. To tell you the truth, I should look that up before I get all fancy schmancy. Maybe 25 with shipping, but this is a diner mug. It's an M-ware mug. It's really thick. It's just cool. It's one of my favorite mugs. I keep 2. I'm not selling you 2. I have 2 that I keep, and I switch out every day. Because I'll forget this and I'll go downstairs. I'll get the other one, bring it back up with hot tea in it. I drink my coffee out of. I love it. Hey, all right. So welcome to the show today, and love seeing some flare pens. Yeah, Jason, I'm going to just make you a little envious here. This is just a small. This is just a small little can of some of the originals. Look at these. These are all the old. Even that one. They don't even make this one anymore, but. These are all the old, ready for this? Here's how you know. If you hear that little sound, it's, and I laid one over here. Let's see, where is it? I laid one somewhere. That is one of the newer models. That is, here it is. See? Slick. There's no grooves. Let's see if they've changed the writing on it. Yeah, there's no writing on this one. They've written on the barrel. This is when Papermate was written on. The old one is when Papermate was written on the little keeper itself here with the 2 little hearts. This one, they just stamped the 2 hearts and they put Papermate on the barrel because this is a medium point flower. Nothing wrong with these. I'm going to compare them right now and let you see. So if you want to ever sketch with a flare, but those guys of us that, and I remember, Jason, in my days, and I'm picking on you here, not picking on you, but calling you out, the architects that I used to bring into camp who would help me draw things, I would just say, look, I want something like this and this and this. And he would pull out either a blue or a black flare pen, blues to make changes, but black flare pen. And he would sit down and just start going, let's see. And then I'm going like, I got to get some of those pens. So that was in the 70s, early 70s. And then all through the 80s, I used them. And then, of course, this is what I started painting with. I started painting with there's another red one here on my desk. Why not? I'm just going to go change that right now. Just hold on. I'm coming back. Wait a minute. Did I put it down here and lost it already? Rats. All right. I've got to find it now because I'm on a mission. So don't go away without me. I've got to find my red flare pen because there's a reason. Because I'm digging, I'm looking. I keep them in a special little bag here, and I don't see it yet, but I'm going to come up with it. Hold on, here's one. In this bag. All right. There's another bag somewhere, and I'll find it in a minute, so I don't know where it is. Okay, so I used to carry around a red, blue, green, yellow, and kind of a straw colored one that they came out with. And that's what I did my original roosters with before 2007. And then along about 2007, they changed, they changed things on me. They got rid of this pin, and that's when I called them. And they changed to this pin, which I wasn't a fan of, and I told them, but they didn't care. Anyway, there's a little bag somewhere that is just the coolest. And I thought I had it in here to show you this morning. Oh, here it is right here. I did this company thing for Works. I did Works Tools for a long time. And so I wrote on here, Works is the tool company. They would send me tools to the door, and I would shoot all their out of the box into the yard, out of the box into the shop videos from here in my backyard. I was blessed for about 10 years. I had that contract. And so I met them, and they said, hey, we want our creative team to come together, and we'd love them to do something watercolor with you. So I printed up these little bags that says Works on it. And it says, sometimes I works, sometimes I paints. And so in here is some of my, there's a purple, there's a green, and I had a darker green somewhere, but all these are vintage too. Might as well just put them in this can, and then I know they're all in there. So cool. So those are vintage flares. I'll use this bag for something else. I like it. All right. So my point this morning was to go through some things because I have a lot of new folks on the show and just show you some of the things that I'm using. And I found a couple other little brushes that I want to tell you about that are aqua brushes that I've enjoyed using. A little tricky to get used to. And I even brought out this new, and Yasutoma just sent me these. I even brought out these new pack of, don't be offended that that's a big knife. There's a lot about me that you can't take out of the country, right? All right, so here it is. Oh, yeah, look at that. These are all brand new. It's the first time they've been sealed. These are from Yasutoma. They're called Niji, N-I-J-I, and Phoebe Lee, who you guys hear her voice and see her sometimes on the show with Karen. She sent me those recently. I had some of these, and no, it wasn't a weak moment. I gifted them to a couple children who are using them all the time. I see them sometimes, and they're really cool, and they love them. And so if I were probably an architect, I might have Prismacolors here, and I had a whole set of Prismacolors back in the days when I made more money. And but these are good, and so I'm going to show you these today too for watercolor pencils, and we'll talk about a little bit of everything today. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about tools and time and toughing it out and touch. And the touch is both your touch on the paper, but also your touch with other people. And I mean that in a way of coming in contact with people that you learn from and that you share with and that you also give and sell art to. And so that some of you may say, oh, I don't want to do that. That doesn't interest me at all. That's fine. Just take the ones you want. Take the T's that you want. T, total Tommy, took a toka T. Black cat backing up a big oak tree. Tick-tock, ticking out a tune on time. Last word, looking for a line to rhyme. Sawfish swimming in the seesaw sea. But me, I'm only trying. Who wrote that? That's a trivia question right there. Who wrote that? Who wrote that song? And I know, but I'm going to tell you, he also wrote the song called What Condition My Condition Is In. That Kenny Rogers recorded. Yeah, I'm an old guy, huh? I'll tell you who it is in a minute if somebody doesn't type it in here. So let me say hello. Jason Nichols, thank you for being on the show. Karen Bender, Cinder, who sends out a lot of art, by the way. Here. Alice Durham, good morning to you. Linda Schleitney from beautiful Ohio. Denise Albright's on morning from Exeter, California. Maybe some of you saw her pictures. Okay, the dog in his own cart was my favorite shot of the whole thing. Good morning, artiste. There's a French word for you, the artiste. Chris Whitaker pulled out a pencil this morning, and not mechanical, but I thought of you for two reasons. One, a regular pencil that I sketch with, and, drum roll please, Fabriano hot press. Look at this. Whoa, how big is that? 11 by 14 studio pack. And so I'll paint on something on that too. But Let me just say hello. June Jones, thanks for being on the show. Glenda Edwards Small. Let's see here. Sue Kane. Sue, I'm loving the bouquets. It's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant idea. Just for fun, Sue, you should remember, and I know you do because I can tell you're organized, to the hilt and passed on up to the pommel. That's just a good thing to say. The whole sword handle. You have all those names, I'm sure. It'd be great to have a print of that little bouquet. This is for you. This is for your children. This is for your grandchildren, for your legacy. All the people across the country from where they are who sent you their flowers, and then the bouquet that you've put into them. And that would make a great little snapshot shutterfly book for coffee tables that people would want from you. Hey, my flower's in here, and Sue did this with it. Sue, I'm giving you this idea all the way from Australia, but it's a good idea even if I did have it myself. And I'm not doing it. It's your idea. But the bouquet and put the names underneath, and you say, wow, like for instance, if somebody like Linda Schleitning sends you her favorite flower and you include it, and you've included her name down there, Linda's flowers this, and that would be fun to have on my coffee table. In fact, I'm really tempted now to send you my favorite flower. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what it is right now. So someday if it shows up, it's a freesia. Yeah. Maybe a white freesia, which is difficult to paint. Maybe with a touch of purple, but no, the green and the white freesia is just one of those flowers. It is a magical flower to me, freesia. Okay, there you go. Enough said. All right, that's how ideas happen here. Sue Kane, Karen, Chris Young, good morning to you. Bob Hendrick is on the show. Morning from the many lakes of Minnesota, where you guys drink soda. Glad you're up there, man, and glad you finally got your mailbox sorted out. There's another one on the way to you. Thank you. Let's see. Talking about, Flair. Oh, yeah, use them in architectural school. Yeah, man, that was the big one, wasn't it? Gene Anthalzer, Deborah Spangler, thanks for being on. Happy painting. Mickey Hupp, thank you for being here. Crystal McElhaney, thank you for being on here. Skip Yentz. Skip's got the rule that we've augmented a little bit. Skip Rule 43. It's now it's in the last half hour of my auctions, just so somebody can't. If you've been bidding on it all day, I added a little auction rule. If you've been bidding all day, and right at the last minute somebody scoots in and gets you, they've got to at least pay an extra $5, and then that adds another $8.57 to the auction. It sounds confusing, but it works. Oh my word, you said that all in breath. Yes, teetotal Tommy took a toka tea. I made it. James Wade, welcome to the show. Karen Brazeau, thanks for being on the show. Randall Taylor Craven, welcome. Man, Sammy Osler, thank you for being on the show. Oh, and she loves freesias too. Great. Okay, well that's mine. So all right, here we go. So I sketched this with Flair pens. If you just came on the show, and this tin of white tea, which believe me, somebody gave it to me, and I didn't drink it because I think it tastes like goat milk. But anyway, there's a purple, and so those they still make Flairs. They're just very expensive pens now, and they have a slick body, and they change the ink just a little bit, but I'll compare to, and you may not see the difference, and if you don't, by golly, don't worry about it. So this has been sketched with a Flair pen, and what I've been doing now is just going back in and adding a little bit of dark here. There's a fellow who used to argue with me every morning that I posted something live on Facebook back in when I started, 2010, 11, 12. I wasn't streaming then, and he would say, "You're messing up." I'd say, "Ralph, you're always saying I'm messing up. What did I do this time?" And Ralph would say, "You don't understand. Roosters are white body feathers on top and black body feathers on the bottom." And I go, "Ralph, you don't get out enough, dude, because no, they're not." I said, "I have Buff Orpingtons, which are as yellow and blonde as they can possibly be. So, and you see all the purple in this. Can you really, from my view, and you've probably got a little bit of a different color hue, there's just amazing. And this is just with a Flair pen. And so why do I need to worry about black ink if I'm coming in with all this Flair, so to speak?" All right, I'm going to open up a palette here. And then we're going to talk about several things. But while I'm using a number 7 nylon interlinked Cheap Joe's brush, it's just this is called the interlock nylon round. This has been my workhorse for many years in watercolor. I'm going to wet down these paints just a little bit. And I'm just going to go in here and grab a little bit. So what I like about this is once I put the color in, this flare pen bleeds into the color just a little bit. This one's going to be dry just a tad. But what happens is it darkens up my red a little, which is good in these crevices. So if I lay on a little more water, you'll see how that just darkened up a little bit. And that was not with black ink. That was not trying to be a tricky artist. It just happens. Let some of your ink happen. And look what's happening here in the tail. You remember all those little squiggly lines in there that I was doing? If I just add, that's a great sound effect, by the way. If I just add a little extra water in there, it dilutes that pen, even more so sometimes than fountain pens, because if you're too thick and bold and scratchy on your paper, you may not lose the mark. Does that make sense? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me take a little piece of watercolor paper here. Here's a little piece with a B on it. No, I can't. That B's numbered. Let me get another little piece here. Hold on. Let me just drop this piece here. There we go. This is the same paper right there. All right. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I come in here and I just take my fountain pen, this is my Lamy, and I squiggle in the box like this, and I'm really writing hard marks just like this, okay? I'm scratching in. And then I take my flare pen, and I take it and I build this box like this, and I even scratch it pretty hard like that, like so. I could have kept those a little closer if that was, I want this to be a fair competition to see if I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to take the same brush, clean it out, clear water, drop a little bit right here, drop a little bit right here, and then pull this out, pull this out. Now watch, these are going to run together because this is watercolor paper, but depending on your paper also. But sometimes, I'm going to put a little more water right here and just let the water lay on it for a minute. Sometimes a pen like the flare will break down more. In this case, it's made a liar out of me because as you can see, it's right there. But I also pulled more of this over. So, and well, there it is. Now this one shows up more than the other one, but you see what's happened here is after I let it sit for a while, and I'll go back and I'm going to try this again. I'm going to let it sit for 3 or 4 minutes. Here we go. This is just with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my flare pen here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I'm going to let those dry because that's what happened to this. I came on with the show and we'll see. I remember what happens is this pen tends to dilute more and I'll get a little more color of blue run out where this one will go to. It's darker, but also I'll lose the lines a little more in this one. Now I'm not here, but I actually did in this painting. They were very light lines too, so I may have just proved myself wrong. Miss Carla, yawning and stretching. Why didn't someone wake me? Ducks. If you had ducks, they would wake you up. Okay, so here we go. So what I'm doing is I'm just knocking this out with flare pens. So my first paintings were done with flare pens, and I'd take a little bit of yellow flare, and I just drop it in like this on top of that black ink. Can you see what I'm doing here? A little yellow flare here. By the way, I'm not trying to use this as a crayon. I'm not laying it down and trying to fill everything in. I'm just making my little scratchy marks in here. I'm still not even changing my writing style, okay? Now, this is my style. This may not be the way you want to do it. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to come in here, and now I'm going to just lighten up with a little few streaks of this orange over the top of the yellow. What's he doing? You can't do one flare on top of another flare. You can if you have flare. And now let's go get this same brush, number, I think, did I say 7? Number 7, and go in here and start, and then just bring this in and let the black from the flare roll in, and look at the color of these legs come out. That is really a cool little color. So if you're on a trip and you don't want to mess with watercolors, grab some watercolor or grab some flare pens. But the problem is they're doggone expensive today. They used to cost like 67 cents each. And now those rascals are probably, I think they're $20 a pack or something like that, man. They've gone through the ceiling. Same deal here on the, I love this color, so I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to circle this in a little bit of yellow like that, a little lighter here, not so much scratchy. And then I'm going to leave some of that yellow up there, but I'm going to bring up a little bit of orange from the top and just a couple little orange drips right in there. I'm going to go with the same brush, clean it out, touch it one time to my paper towel, and then I'm going to come in here and look at this. And then I'm just grabbing my brush there and touch it down on this, grabbing some of this in. Probably will drop a little bit of blue in the towel. Man, this turns, look at the color here. Do you see what I did? I'm going to show you this one more time on this demonstration that's not working with the flop. So now I would say that it's showing the line more than my fountain pen, but the reason is because my India ink and my Lamy was so dark that it just run over everything. So there's always a reason. But I've noticed over the years that if all these were little scratchy lines, you can see some right there, and they just dissipated, and the water has turned them into this beautiful Payne's gray. How do you get naysayers who try to shut down your creativity? Oh, great question, Jason. Why are you spending time with naysayers? First of all, you have to think, what are they telling you, and who? Hey, that's a great question. That's a great question. Some of your family will do it sometimes. They'll go, I don't understand why you're spending all this time on art. It's not going to amount to anything. And you're going like, do you bake cupcakes? Why do you spend all this time on cupcakes? You can't eat them all, and they're not going to amount to anything. And cupcake business, they go out of business about every 3 years, and a new one comes in, and it's replaced by donut business, who comes back in. And so the donuts probably stood the test of time, but you can only eat so many Dunkin' Donuts, and you go like, I don't want a donut that just tastes like it was made in Seattle and shipped here, and that's what they are. They just bake up these frozen little blobs. They don't mix a dough anymore. That old thing of most don't. And so unless you're in Gatlinburg and you're at the Friar, and I'm talking Friar with F-R-A-I-R, Friar as in the monk, there's a donut shop way back in the little catacombs near Gatlinburg. And of course, getting to it is a mess with people, but I remember I used to live in Knoxville, so it's been there since 1969. And I think you still get a donut for 69 cents, and it's batter's made there, the dough's made there, and Krispy Kreme still makes them like that. And the guy who owns Krispy Kreme is from Winston-Salem, and he also had a house in Charlotte for a while. He's a cool guy. He actually created a salary for my son for 2 summers that he would work as the chaplain for a camp, and we were consulting that. And cool guy. So anyway. Now, where was I before I started off on another story? Jason said naysayers. And so here's the thing. Who are they, and why should I listen? So away from them, I just sort of do a little soul searching. And maybe sometimes I'll do that with a piece of paper and a flare pen, and I'll just go, who said it? Who are they? Why do I listen to them? Why should I listen to them? What difference is their word? And I could probably come up with another 8 questions easy right there. But who said it? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it co-workers? Is it employers? You have to answer all those yourself. And you have to go, if it's family, you say, there's a creativeness, and you really want to do it, there's a creativeness in me that is an itch that I need to scratch. Some people play golf. Some people play handball. Pickleball has taken over the world. If you've ever played pickleball, it looks like wiffle ball with a skillet. You're like, I don't get it. And you're running around and going, that's the greatest game ever. It's for people who don't play tennis. And it's slower, and it's the orthopedic surgeons love it because more people have twisted their knees playing pickleball than any other thing. I think it's the church, the staff that I work with. I can do some consulting with church staff. They go, and each year they have a little pickleball tournament. And so last year, y'all think I'm making this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. Talk amongst yourself for 35 seconds. I was only 18, wasn't it? So I get a call and they said, "Are you coming to the pickleball tournament?" I said, "I will be there." And they said, "You playing?" I said, "I will be there." And they said, Are you seriously playing?" I said, I'm coming to the pickleball. Pickleball. It's all you ever talk about. So I went and I came up here and I in my computer and I printed off some signs and I went and got some signboard, and I stuck it on the signboard. And I went to the grocery and I bought 15 jars of pickles. And I bought these little cups and some little forks and some toothpicks. I set up a little hors d'oeuvre pickleball charcuterie with just pickles. And here's what I did. Pickle bar. Yeah, I did. Winners, 5 cents. Losers, eat free. All right, come on. You guys will use this somewhere, and you can say Roo did it, but here's the thing. Pickle bar. Winners, 5 cents. Losers, eat free. So instead of me saying pickleball's ridiculous and you're wasting your time, I just said, hey. And they said, well, 5 cents. I put a little box there. I didn't care. They didn't have nickels. They were in their workout gear. I just said, oh, and they're going like, really? It's 5 cents? I said, well, pay me later or I'll bill you. So they knew I was kidding. But the point was, pickleball sounds like pickle bar to me, just if you say it fast enough. You come to the pickleball tournament? Sure. I love a pickleball tournament. And so my point is, why do they have a voice in your life? Or you ask them what I asked the lady. Remember Noodle Doodle Fiddle Piddle that Pat and I worked on? The lady said, I don't buy art unless it's fine art. And I went, this is fine with me. Get out your checkbook. And before the evening was over, she came back and she bought a painting from me that, by the way, this was 2008, 2012 maybe. I painted that painting with Flair pens. That's ironic. I didn't think of that until right now. And it was this little painting that I did of this hen who was rats. How did I lose stuff that fast? That's impossible. The painting of oh no, I guess I didn't. It was a painting that had these two hens on it. All right, this is Fabriano hot press paper. And I had these two little hens. See, I'm working to do something that you never see me do, but it calls for it in this painting. What is that? It's a little bit of symmetrical work. Watch this. Now, this is going to dry a little faster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another little trick with these. So I pull this red in just like this. I'll pull some of this blue in just like this. And I'm going back and forth trying to make these look as symmetrical as possible. Why would he possibly do that? Whoops, there's a little spot that I didn't go symmetrically. Even if they're not drawn symmetrically, the colors will start to look that way. And everything in life is not the same. There's always a wiggle or a turn somewhere. Now, let's put a little bit of yellow in here, a little bit of yellow in here. Let's go do that. Let's go grab the orange and put a little orange in here. So where am I going with this story? Is that everybody has an opinion. I have 5. That doesn't mean I'm right. And so I would ask them questions, Jason, to throw them off guard just a little bit. And I would say to them, I pulled a little bit of pink in there because this old red Flair pens are yellow. What color is that? Red in there. And so now let's see if I grab a little bit of this green and do a sweep across the wings like this. Man, this one's got some color in it left. Probably hadn't had the lid off in 15 years. All right. Is that I think people where I'm going with this story is I painted this at this event, and I'm going to quit here and just let you see how crude this was. But I painted this little event. I colored in all their feet, so it was all finished, and I had it on the wall. And the caption to this is, some of you may have a painting like this that I did later. The caption to this painting is, ready for this? Dang it, which is the worst curse word that I know. Dang it, same dress. You know, you go to the New Year's Eve party and you walk, the hostess answers the door and you open it and you both have on the same dress. So I had this little painting, a little smaller than this one, sitting on the chair rail behind me. I'm painting one night at this art gallery, this little opening, wine tasting, art gallery opening, and rooster painter. And that's when the lady came up. She said, well, what are you? And I said, well, it's wine tasting, it's gallery opening. I must be the rooster painter. And she said, what do you paint besides roosters? And I said, nothing. At that time, nothing. And she said, well, that's boring. And I said, what do you paint? There's a question for you. What do you paint? Nothing. No, wait. At least I paint something. Yours is, you're more bored. What do you do when you just want to sit down and rest and reflect and journal? And I don't ever have time to sit down. Whoa, we need to talk about that. You need to seek counseling because maybe your pace is a heart attack pace. You see, I'm tongue in cheek, but I'm really, there's a little bit of truth in what we say. So if there's truth in what the person is saying, and if you feel guilty about it, then you'll always be limited because you'll feel like you're hiding your art somewhere. So I get my art out for the world to see. Last night at dinner, I painted 2 little paintings. Carol had some lobster, and it was a little lobster roll. It wasn't an expensive lobster flown in, but it was cooked to the, and I'm not going to talk about the restaurant because we love them and we'll go back, and we even talked to the manager because he came out and said, I'm sorry, we messed this up. And so he said, I'm taking it off your bill. And I said, well, listen, he goes, no, we didn't do this right. So, and he spoke to me when I came in, so I know this guy. The point is that it was like a consistency of a good rubber ball. And so Maddie was our waitress, and she'd done a tremendous job. And she just said, I'm so sorry. I said, first of all, don't apologize. You didn't cook it. You didn't get it shipped in, and you didn't forget about it in the steamer or wherever it was. in the, I don't know what those machines are. They make vulcanizer. You didn't make a rubber ball out of it. And so we laughed, and so I opened my little leather scabbard, that I call it, from Buffalo Jackson. I pulled out one of my little 140 Kilimanjaro pieces of paper, and I sketched a little lobster. And I gave it to Maddie. And while I was at it, I sketched a little bee, and on the way out, I handed it to someone. I said, y'all have to flip a coin, see who gets this, or who can give it away to someone else if you don't like original art at all. But I just painted this. I do all the time. And I had my little Altoid box there full of paint and my little water brush, and boom, I gave it to them, and they went, wait a minute, you just painted this? I said, yeah, I just painted it, so hold it flat. And they're all going like, oh, and I said, no, hold it flat, it's wet. And then they go like this, oh, let me shake it. And I'm like, well, now you're going to mess it up. And so they go, oh, I'm sorry, it's still wet, you just painted it. And I'm going like, there you got it. And so why do you give these away? I said, well, I don't need any more. And by the way, this one's numbered, and I don't give away many numbered ones, but this one's numbered. It's 1841. And she went, well, how do we get in touch with you? And I go, a good artist would sign his work. I'm not saying I'm good, but at least I thought I was good enough to paint this bee. And so I'm out of there. So for me, that's part of what I want to talk about today. Where's your touch with other people? Are you in touch with a big enough circle that not just says you're doing good stuff? You do need some people around you who say, hey, you need to change that style because it's either not connecting or I don't get it. And so you need to take notice of those things that people say. There's good critique and there's horrible criticism. You see the difference? So Jason, it's a good question. So why are they saying it? Who is saying it? Why am I listening to this person if I don't know them? I said, do you know my life? Have you ever taken me out to lunch? Have you and I ever talked about art? Do you know about any of the sketching that I do? Do you know about, no, I don't know any of that. I just don't like it. And I go, oh, I see. So what kind of car do you drive? Well, I drive this, do you like that car? I don't do that, but that's kind of what happens to my natural nature that I could, but I don't go down that hole. But I usually ask another question. Answering a question with a question is Jesus did it really well. And so I think that's the best part. Say, well, I think you're wasting, could you be wasting your time? Or why are you doing that? And you go like, what hobbies do you have? This is a hobby. This lets my head relax, unless painting for you is like playing golf, then you might be in trouble. There are times when an artist needs to put the brushes down and back away from the easel. What do I do? Well, I paint every day because I love it and I'm just absorbed by it. But I've also got other build projects going on all the time. I either have a video going on for somebody. Last week I chefed at 2 different events. I don't call it chefing, I call it cooking, but just to be uppity. And I didn't even wear an apron in either one. But my point is, 2 companies invited me to go cook for them. And so I did. And that's where I was on Saturday morning cooking. I think somebody made a picture. I did 70 biscuits and gravy. And I did eggs and that's the whole thing, stewed apples and bacon. And so the point is that there's all kinds of art forms that I choose. Right now I'm working on a large, I said that 3 times on purpose, prop, and I can't tell you what it is, but trust me, I'm shooting video of the process, and parts are coming in from, I found something in Oklahoma I need, and I'm getting all these pieces in here, and it's for a big client in Atlanta. And they said, could you build 10 of these? And I'm going, well, let's just build the first one and see if I'm still alive after I do it. And it's something ridiculous. I can't believe they asked me to build it, but they said, we thought of you because of some stuff you build. And so I'm working on it. I'll keep you posted on that to see if it happens. All right. So why should I listen to them? Who are they? If it's your grandmother and she would rather you went to law school and not played golf, well, don't worry about it. Life has changed. If it's your wife, then you have to say, am I wasting too much time on this and not doing the here and here and here? So you have to find a time. And maybe there are times that you say, I'm going to take these pins, I'm going to put them away for a season, I'm going to come back to them. Many of you have done that in your life now. If you're doing this to just be rich, that's a whole nother thing, because who can say that your art will take off or it won't? Who can say that Roodoodles takes off or it won't? Mine doesn't, but I've been asked by people to come and do, the folks at Hands Create, my dear friends just down the road here, and I stay in touch with them because I love who they are and what they're doing for children. I happened to just drop by and say hello yesterday, and they said, hey, what's November like? We need you back in here. We got people calling for this journaling workshop that you do. And I go, how about November the 14th? And they go, you're on. So, I just dropped by to say hello because Joanne is a good artist. Tim is a good artist. This is their little logo. I love it. Isn't this cool? It's called Hands Create. You see all the hands in the logo? Is that cool? There's another little one right in there. And while I was there, the bus pulled up and these little kids got off who came up to my kneecap and they knew them all by name. Wow. And they all came in. They said, they're here for an hour with us, and we're working on this little collage thing with flowers. Because they're just big enough to take the little scissors and cut it out. And her say, we want to let the flowers dance and da-da-da-da-da. And it's just magical. But they do adult classes. They do all sorts of things. And she's quite the artist, and he's an unbelievable sketch artist. And so I got them journaling. They went to Italy recently. And so anyway, so my point is, dang it, same dress. And I signed it. The lady comes back, and she says, well, I don't really particularly like art like this, but I'll buy that anyway. And I said, I'm sorry, it's just sold. And she goes, no, I wanted it. And I said, well, ma'am, you told me it wasn't fine art. And she's going like, and I wasn't being rude. I was just bringing her words back. And she said, well, and I said, I had 2 of them. She goes, well, I'll take the second one. I said, well, it sold 2. And she looked around, and the 2 ladies, you can't write this script. 2 ladies were holding it. And this is the part I left out of the book. They're holding it, they're looking at it, and they're laughing. And she goes, I feel out of it. She didn't say this, but you could tell she was like, I wanted one of those. I wanted to use that to connect with my friends, because that happened to me like on a New Year's Eve. I came to this woman's house, and she had on the same dress I had on. I said, well, it kind of had your opportunity there. But if you'll write me a check for this and come back in about 15 minutes, I'll have you one. So I went home that night, and Carol said, well, did you talk a lot? And I said, honey, I talk a lot all the time. She said, did you sell any art? And I said, this is my first trip out ever. And I said, $575 worth of art, and I have a story for you. And we laughed. And then we left to the place where we had dinner, and I laughed her through some more art supplies. And, it was gone like that. But I felt like, ha, I didn't get rich, but my hobby paid for my hobby. So there's my story on that. Man, that was a long way around Jerusalem to tell you that, huh? Okay. Lobster Grace, always good to be kind. Yeah, we were kind to them. Siesta Key. Oh, way down there. Well, get a lobster out of the water without claws. What? No roux apron for the feed? What do you mean no roux apron? Of course I have a roux apron. I don't know where it is. It's downstairs. I have a roux apron and I have a... Oh, no, I didn't have on my roux apron. I got one, though, that says it's Showtime. My head that says Showtime, that's my apron that I wear. I printed one up, and I printed a bee apron up, too, a biscuit apron. It's hanging over there on the wall. All right, so I want you to see this, and then I'm going to hustle through this morning. So I got in to answer questions. If there's some more questions, you can do QQQ. Let me just see if there's any more up there than those two that I got. James and Jason. All right, the Jays have asked questions. If Pat isn't here, someone has to do it. I don't know what y'all are talking about, but let's see. Let's go on down through this and say, asked to teach some community ed watercolor classes this fall. Great for you, Jacqueline. Mike Paramore, late to the party. Don't worry about it, buddy. Glad you're here. We have many projects at our house, many art forms. We love it. Well, creative connects many levels. Moves the universe forward. Don't you just love that? I think it's fantastic when that happens. And I did write down an art quote today, this week. I don't know if I can find it for you right now, but I'm just going to tell you, it blew my mind. I hadn't thought of his words in a long time. You know what my motto is? It's from this guy. And my motto says, I was born, it's his motto, but I just adapted some of it. It says, I was born to I can't find my other quote. Sorry, I was looking for this other quote from him. To interrupt, but not interrupt for interruption's purpose, but to not interrupt for no purpose, but to interrupt with a purpose. And so I think that's really where I live. And so can people interrupt me while I'm talking? Yeah, but it may lead me to something else that was better than what I was even talking about. And so I love that if it happens that way. Okay, so this is all just with flare pens. I just wanted you to see it. And why I'm leaving spaces in this is that I just love doing different things sometimes. Now, if I grab a little bit of blue right here, watch this. Let's say, here we go. Here's a good idea. Look, I'm going to take a little blue right here. Lightly just brushing this, and I'm going to take a little bit of yellow on the front side of it right here. You know what's going to happen, right? It's no different than watercolor. I'm going to sweep through here, and then I'm going to get this cool little green that's going to appear. There it is right there, beautiful as it is. And I'm going to let that go down. Look at that, okay? So now I have these great ideas. I'll come back and I'll take some more black, and I'm going to put a little more highlight right in this one here, and I'm going to go back and just do the tips of these with a little black, and then maybe a couple little cuts in there like so, and then even up in here, and let's do a little orange right in this section right here, just with some flare pens and just little light marks coming down. Still using that number 7 with a lot of water in it. And I got a couple other things I want to tell you on the show this morning. Man, this time flies when y'all get me talking, and I know it's nobody's fault but mine. Okay, so but I hope this pushes you to be responsive to what you do when you're around people with art. I'm using a new water brush. First of all right, that's a great little roux, by the way. And look what's going to happen to this. If I just take my brush and I add a little more water now, and I just drop it right on there, and I drop it right here, it's not over until it's over. Not being silly, I'm just saying, look what's happening to this green and this blue by me just letting the water hang in there. And I think I need a little more blue right here, right in this section right here. And I'm just going in on top of some of that damp, but I want to put a little section in here, and I want a little section right here at the turn. I like those blue and black feathers. Those remind me of the old Rhode Island reds that I had when I was in Knoxville with my family. Their bodies were kind of reddish, but inside there would always be a little bit of red, a little bit of purple, and it really made me putting this red in there with that, and I'm going to dry the end of it really well on a little piece right there. See what I'm doing? And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to stick a little more red right in there like this. I'm going to do a little detail, and then I have a painting here that literally has been done with all flares. Now let's go with a little black flare, and let's go in here and do some detail. This should be dry. Let's put a little bit of veining and some toenails here. I'm going to get the green out in just a second. Slide it right in here between this. And then maybe just a little bit of black right in here to get a little more shadow underneath. And I don't have my yellow. Where's my yellow? Yeah, I do. Put a little yellow right in this black right here. Just create a little bit of a dirty brown and a little bit of orange in that too, just so it looks like I got some shadow underneath his feet. We'll see what that looks like. And then we'll come in here to start over here and just add some water like this and bring it in. I should get the colors that I want. If I'm going to get the colors that I get, whether I want them or not, and I'm going to love them. And this is what makes a loose artist scary, because he goes, yeah, look at that, this is just perfect. And you go like, how did he do that? And you go, he had no idea what it was going to turn out like. That's the truth of it, folks. Except I like this rooster, okay? I think I need a spot of orange right here, though. Can you ever put the pins down and back away? I don't know. So, Jason, pay attention, all of you, who you're listening to, and whether their word, there are people's word who has value in your life. And then there's other people's words who just go, I'm going to say something, and some of you are going to go, I can't believe he said that, but I'm going to say it. I used to tell my friend that he said, you're always talking to people. Did you get a counseling degree? And I said, I did. And he goes, no, you did not. I said, okay, I didn't. He goes, well, which is it? Did you? And I said, well, I went to this counseling school that only cost me $1. And he goes, well, what'd they teach you? And I said, here's what they taught me. Shut up. I don't care what you're feeling, and you're real ugly. And I have kind of tongue-in-cheek again. It sounds rude, but the way you say it says, what did that woman say to you? What I should have said was, ma'am, this is not fine art. I should have said, my counseling school professor told me to say, shut up. I don't care what you're feeling. You're real ugly. Go somewhere else and bother somebody. I don't have time. But I know in my life, and in my life as a believer in Christ, I shouldn't do that. But there are times where that's what comes over me, and it makes me laugh on the inside, and I go, I'll tell you what, how can we fix this? Maybe you paint something for me. Let's trade places. I'll hold your wine glass and talk bad about what you're doing. You come over here on this side. And she goes, you're kind of funny. And I go, ta-da. You see the difference? Okay. And so humor is a great tool to disarm. And so I always say, is this what you do? Do you go around picking on people for things that what do you do? And that's why I get to what do you do? What do you do that takes your mind off of work? Do you just work all the time? Well, you must just be stressed out to the max. How come? What's going on in your life? I have peace to sit down. Are all my bills paid? No, I owe more money than Caesar's wife. But I love this craft. I love this art. I love this community of people who get together and say, I want to create something. I was made to do that. So was I. Okay. Now, filter the intake. See, that's so educational. But you know that my whole world is based on a filter, and it's up on the wall. Everything divided by the mission statement squared minus why plus realistic application over time constraint minus the W again equals a pleasing, accepting sacrifice. And that equation is written over my wall, and it's how I've done every young team that I've ever. Everything goes through a mission statement. I have a mission statement to be an artist that connects with people, makes their kitchen smile, makes a story come to life in their own, makes a story come to life in their own life, in their own family somewhere. That's why I have captions. People say, I just wish you would paint a painting without captions. I go ahead. Well, I just can't ever think what to put on it. Then don't worry about it. But for me, my art speaks to me, and I write things on there that speak to me out of my very diverse, eclectic past. And sometimes it speaks to someone else, and they go, that makes me laugh. Or my father said that, or my grandfather said that. So that's kind of how that comes about. All right. All right. Let's see here. I got a couple more things here that I want to show you. I got to show you a new pen. I like this painting, by the way, even if I did it myself with flare pens. And look what's happening here. Did you see that purple that ran down into here? You see the green that came through? And this is on 140-pound watercolor paper. All right. Now, am I still using fountain pens? All the time. I still use my Kakuna. I still use my Lamy pen. This is a medium point. I still use my bigger Lamy. I still use, I am a fountain pen fan. I gave away 4 paintings yesterday, little ones, and all of them had to do with Lamy pens. They were all painted with Lamy pen, okay? And the person said, I can't believe you're doing watercolor with a fountain pen. And I said, why not? And she said, well, it just doesn't seem... it doesn't seem, and I said, careful, choose your word carefully there, because I'm going to have a comeback. She said, it doesn't seem fair, doesn't seem right, it doesn't seem like the Watercolor Society would like it. Well, first of all, I'm not part of the Watercolor Society. They never asked me to join. And second of all, it doesn't matter what I paint with. I'm the guy who still uses a stick sometimes and dips it into ink. I'm the guy who would have done well. Look at his hands painting on cave walls, blowing the paint across my fingers and, making animals. So my point is that what is it that you are so in your box that you want me to be in your box? Does that make sense to you guys? I'm asking you to, once again, like I taught in a couple of years ago in a class, enlarge your circle. If your circle is this big, in the next, between now and Christmas, make it this big. And then after that, make it as big as a banjo head. And then just say it has no borders, wherever it goes. I found some purple after all that. I'm not going to use it now because that's the best purple I've ever seen right there. All right. Let me show you another water brush that I've come up with. And here it is right here. I haven't come up with it. I always love these. I use these all the time. This is my aqua brush. It's made by Pentel. It's still my workhorse favorite when I'm out traveling around. I just lost yes, I lost it. I lost a small palette last week. It's in a little brass box. It's just a tiny bit bigger than this. It's one of my brass boxes that matches this. I have 3 of these. This one has ink in it. And I've searched my house over, and it's fallen out of my bag somewhere, and somebody's picked it up, and they're using it, and I hope it brings you lots of joy. Anyway, but this is my workhorse. I take out, okay? I still love taking it out. This is the one that I keep on my desk. I just don't drop this in my briefcase and take it out because it weighs 4 pounds even without the paint in it. These are my Charvin one that I take when I'm doing journals sometimes. And basically the same colors in this one that are all here with a couple added browns from the rocks. Excuse me. I haven't sneezed in a long time. So I was overdue. So from the rocks in... and then let me show you what else I'm using. I think some of you have seen this. It's from New York Art Supply. And it's just the box that I took with me out west to, and there it is right there. It only comes with 12, it only comes with 12 half pans in it, and I added 6 more. So there are 18 colors in there. I just got into going out west and not knowing what colors I would find. And if I was going to spend too much time mixing, which I don't, I mix on the paint, and I wanted to hit some things fresh and just have it go on the water for the first paper for the first time. So that's why I took this. Here's all my regular primary colors, but I've added 3 browns. I added an extra green, and I'll probably add 1 more green here. So I'm probably going to wind up putting 1 more little pan right there. And I have some with little magnets. These clip in. These are all magnetized and sit down in the middle. This is made by New York Central Art Supply. It has a ring on the back, which my other ones do too. So I can slip my finger through this ring and have it open like this. And it rests on my hand like so. See that? That's pretty cool. And it also has a couple mixing bays. You can see where yesterday I was painting something and I needed a little bit of tan, and I didn't. This browns are a little too dark, so I just took a little bit of my buff. I almost said Buff Wellington, Buff Orpington. That's a rooster. I took a little bit of my titanium buff and put it here with a touch of brown, and just came up with a couple little spots of that. And so every now and then I'll do that too. I break all kinds of rules. If that's what rules are made for, to break. Let me show you this water brush. If you haven't seen it, here it is. This is made by Langnickel. Do you know them? Royal, R-O-Y-A-L, Langnickel, L-A-N-G-N-I-C-K-E-L. We'll say it one more time. Royal Langnickel. One word Royal, second word Langnickel, L-A-N-G-N-I-C-K-E-L. I met them the first time when I was in, excuse me, at the October stuff coming. I was in Orlando several years ago at the art thing for Yasutoma, and I came across their brushes that I liked, but I was already so deep into Cheap Joe's brushes, which I'm going to continue. But this is a water brush, and by the way, I just found these at, believe it or not, I'm going to tell you, Sam Walton's place. That's right, I found them at Walmart. Very inexpensively, these three. But the water valve is a little looser than the water valve on this one. So if you're having a hard time while dropping too much water, these are going to it's going to be like opening the dam. Okay, Hoover brushes, I should call them. But one of the things you're going to have to learn to do watercolor is when to add the water, when to not add the water, when to add most. Too much. So there's a couple brushes here, but it's a little longer. It doesn't fit in my pocket as well. I mean, that extra 1 inch kind of sticks up a little too high in my pocket. Where's my pocket? Right there. But fits in my bag well enough. This one's never been used. Can you see that? But I kind of like it. I like it a lot, as a matter of fact. It's been a very good brush to use. And so this one's, like I said, it's never been used. So I'm just going to squeeze it. Drip, 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 drip. So now I'm just taking that and running it around a little bit like so. And then I'm going to go in here and get a little bit of red. I can't even see where water is. There's a drop a little red in. Yeah, that's a little. You see how much water this thing puts out? You got to be careful, and you got to clean them a little more. So squeeze it and brush them off before you go into your next color. Now, eventually, this is just going to go to a greenly brown, ugly mess. And so grab a little bit of blue here and drop my blue in there. A little more blue right here. Blue and water, just a little more blue. Squeeze it and just drop out. Look, splash. There it goes down like that. And let's do some yellow. Let's do some yellow here. Let's do some yellow here. And then you know where I'm heading with this, right? If I had a straw up here, but I don't think I do. I'll just blow it and we'll see what happens. Wait a minute. I may have one here somewhere on my desk. I wasn't planning on doing this today, but I'm doing it now because I'm showing you this brush. But does he see it? No, he doesn't. Okay, here, I'll just blow it. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so let's come in here now, and let's do with a little bit of yellow that might be left in that brush. Let's just do the wing of this little hummingbird, and then we'll go back in and just start piling on some extra green here and some little extra green here. Bring him around. He's going to be a big old hummingbird. And so you get the idea of, see how much water this thing puts out. It's just unbelievable what rolls out of this thing. That's crazy. And then let's go ahead and draw this right there. That would be in black originally or eventually. So we come in there like this, and then okay. So you get the idea of how fast this stuff works. This is, I don't paint on what am I trying to say? I don't paint on hot press very much. I did this for a workshop because it's more like a journal to me when I'm painting on this kind of paper. But as you can see, some people put watercolor in this brush. I found that it just dries up and they last about 3 weeks, and that's about it. You have to throw them away because they just, you end up not using them every day. So that has not been my like. All right, so a lot of water comes from that brush. I just wanted you to see it. It's called Langnickel. You might like them, though. And now get ready. Are you sitting down? I think I bought them at Walmart for $5. Yeah, all 3 of them. So here's the thing. I noticed that they have a life span of probably only a month and a half the way I use them. And so, but that's not bad. You know, maybe a little more than that. Maybe I got 2 months out of these last ones. And so that's, 2 months for $5. I'll take that for a brush that I'm carrying around, dropping in and out of my bag every day and knocking out, throwing down somewhere. Let me see what else I was going to tell you about today. I haven't changed papers on you. I'm still using 140-pound Kilimanjaro. Got a new one of these I just need to open. Opened it this morning and my paint book was empty. So here it is, still wrapped in the plastic. This is 140-pound. Do not be confused when you go to order this. It says 300 GSM. That's metric. Don't go, oh no. Or the other one's going to be more than that. If it says 300-pound, you're going to go, oh no. I love painting on 300-pound, but you got to really lay the water to it. So, H2O brushes, watercolor pencils. I opened these up to show you. And so here they are. Do I like them? I do, actually. They're Ninja watercolor pencils. And let's see, what can we do with one here? Just in a couple more minutes to go. Let me bring out the Dang It Same Dress painting again. And let's just add a little bit of something that would be in, I think, a little pink and... oh, there's a touch of orange pencil right there. Ooh, that would be great. Okay, let's do this. All right, let's just grab these three right here and let's just let this go. Now, there are two ways to use this watercolor pencil. One is just like this. I'll come in from here. I'm still trying to do these kind of symmetrical. I'm not really working hard at this, but I'm creating enough of a washout. And I'm going to put a little bit of a brown feather coming out right here under this back leg. And this is what is that the red? Here's the one I'm looking for right here. Little orange coming up off the back part right here. Orange yellow right there. Orange yellow right there. Okay, and now let me use this brush I had. Oh, that's not the clean one, or the one I was using. Where is it? Here it is. This is the one I was just using. Make sure the brush is clean. Come in like this, and then let's just go into those colors and wake them up. So there they are. They're waking up right now as I put water on them. You can see them coming to life. Some will show less lines than others depending on the makeup and how fast they dry. But I think you get the drift of where this is headed. No pun intended with the drift there. Okay. There it is. That's cool. That's working really well. Now there's another way to use these. Let me show you what that way is. Here it is, run time. Let's just grab the brush right here and dip the brush in the water like this. 1001, 1002, 1003, I don't care. 4, 5 seconds maybe, and just look and try a little bit. Oh yeah, that's nice. See that? And I'll put it back in, and I'm gonna grab a little bit like this. And now I'm painting with a thin point. You know what I'm painting with right now? A stick that I whittled. That's what it feels like, but it's got watercolor painting on the end of it, but it's got a nice little color and touch to it. So you got to go, wow, I think that might work. Okay, now I'm going to try and keep these symmetrical, so come right back in here. Where's that red pen? I want a little more red. Let's see what I do with it. Here it is right here, red orange. I'm going to clean up these combs just a little bit right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just dip it in your water and let it soften up the crayon, and then come in right here and just add a little yellow orange right in there like this and a little bit underneath. Oh, these are good. Okay, now I'm going to do a little detail right here. And so I could have done this whole thing with watercolor pencils, especially pretty good ones. I'm going to get a little black here. If it's black, it should say on there. No, it doesn't. That's hilarious. Okay, so here's the thing I just learned about, Prismacolor will always tell you what color it is. So if you're matching the Pantone colors, you can figure out. In this case, they're not saying anything. So it's just like, and I'll kid Phoebe about that when I call her. I'm saying, nobody knows what color your colors are because, all right, so that's a fun little drawing. Dang It Same Dress, Roodoodles, 24. Okay. Got to have flair. All right. So there's the Yasutoma watercolor brushes in there. There's some flair pens in there, and really no watercolor in there. I think I touched the watercolor brush to that to get a little red, but I came back with that red pencil and added what I needed, which I keep laying down somewhere that then I'll lose it. It's just unbelievable. I think it could be because I have 650,000 different implements on my desk. Got one quick video to show you. It's 12 seconds long, and then you're off and running. 12 seconds is the only video that I have right now from the piano drop, so I'll leave you with that. Let's see. Here, on 1 second here. Got to just heighten up a little red right in there like that. A little red right in here like this. There we go. I think that's good. All right. I think I'm done. Okay, here we go. Hey, thanks for being a part of what I do and my zany art. And I hope you don't tune in expecting me to paint some breathtaking scenery from wherever. I paint art that inspires other people to paint. I paint art that connects to other people. I paint art that I love to give away. I paint art that I love to sell. And I paint art that I like to make your kitchen smile. And you go, you know what? This is not brain surgery. It is just a fun way to have fun doing something that I need to maybe slow down the pace in my life. And so that's how I answer those people who fail to see the goodness and the humor in art. All right. Sometimes I have to go and drop a piano. Here we go. This is it right here. It's a 12-second view from a friend shot it. The company who videoed it all with the drone and the target and all the lift and the kids and all that stuff will be sending me a video later. But here is, you can see what I did 2 weeks ago in Cumming, Georgia. And this is from 125 feet. Come on, let's watch it one more time just for fun. 10 seconds. And I kept pulling it up. And they would go, I said, this is high enough. It's making me nervous. You go, no, higher, higher. There's several hundred kids there. No, higher, higher. I said, this is far enough. No, higher, higher. And so what happened was it was pointing this way, and then immediately at about 123, 124, it went like this in the wind. I had some ribbons on it, caution ribbons, just so I could see the wind control. And also I thought they'd look cool when it dropped. And it turned it sideways. And so the locking mechanism that I was working with, I didn't know how it would respond to the twist. And so I went, cut it. So the crane guy stopped immediately, and I go, count. And they started counting. So that's how we got to this point. So his boom went to 127, 128. He's up about that far. And then we did a drop, and I had someone on the button, and the guy was so fidgety. This little kid named Tommy was so fidgety on the button, he exploded it a little bit before it hit the target. But that's what you get when you let kids be involved, which is great. All right, I'm out of here like a herd of turtles.